All right. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to the Fireside Tattoo Podcast at Space City. I'm not going to say what number episode this is for Space City. I've got a bad habit of going like, hey, it's our third episode from Space City, and then we put it out as the 9th episode from Space City, and it's like, Jake doesn't know what they're doing. I'm here with Eddy Arg, and
Hiya.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Eddy is out of suburb of Atlanta. What is it? Tucker. Everyone, we were just talking about before we started rolling the cameras, everyone good is from a suburb of Atlanta. If you want to become a good tattooer, it's best to move just outside of Atlanta. Does Atlanta proper have any good tattooers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't need any of them.
No, there's a few shops, core shops, older shops that are inside of it, but for the most part, all the ones that whose work I'm just wowed by are predominantly like in the metro suburb area.
Yeah. So is it, I mean, with that much competition in that town and surrounding areas, I know there's like 6 or 7 million people in Atlanta. So with the suburbs, it's probably over 10 million, if I had to guess, isn't it? If
you include all the suburbs in the city proper, I think the last number was just like something between 2 and 250 shops. But like that's a large area, and it is a large city. And at the end of the day, there's plenty of money for everyone. All you have to do is just, do your thing, and the rest will follow.
And are you able to pretty successfully carve out? I mean, you've been tattooing for 20 years.
Yes.
And about 7 or so in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
So was it hard for you to kind of carve out a niche for what you do?
No, not really, because what you do is whatever shop that you're in, you do whatever it is that's being demanded from you walking in on the door. Now, mind you, this is you moving up here and having no clientele, no connections whatsoever. You don't know anyone from anyone. And as the people come in, get in a busy shop, you start talking to them, you start tattooing them, you start to build a clientele. And then in that, you find out who likes what, if they like a particular thing that you do. And if you would like to get known for it, what I did, what a lot of us do, is, you'll offer, like, hey, I did this, I really want to do it. If you like it, I'll give it to you for next to nothing, or in some cases, nothing.
Yeah.
And, you do enough of those, and you build enough to show, eventually people will be like, oh, thank you again to like internet and social media and stuff like that. You could basically promote yourself fairly quickly and with little to no cost.
Yeah.
Just drive.
Right. And did you grow up, you obviously grew up influenced by cartoons, things like that. You draw a lot of that. So what was your, did you always draw? Did you go to art school? What was your influence?
I've been drawing for as long as I could remember. Yeah. And in school, I started to develop a more serious affinity for it, like in the early high school. And then, of course, each year you go by, you get into like the AP classes and stuff like that, or just most of the time it's just to kill time. But at the end of the day, you end up learning a bunch of stuff. And then after college, I was trying to get my degree in graphic design technology in '95, and got a job working at a novelty shop that did piercings and was just starting to do tattoos. And the rest is history. Through one thing after another, I ended up becoming a body piercer first at a shop, and started buying my equipment and picking up what I could, picking the brains of the artists that would come and go from the shop. And the rest is history. Yeah. Basically.
What do you do, because that kind of I don't know if you call it, do you consider it new school, or do you just kind of cartoony for the most part?
I just do cartoony stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, people are like, is it new school? I was like, some stuff looks new school. Some of us try to do a little bit more like three-dimensional, or it all depends what it calls for. Yeah. I just like to, I like to call it after school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of what I do, remember the old after-school specials, like cartoons and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I do a lot of that, so I just call it after school.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have to make, working in that style, do you have to make a conscious effort to separate yourself from other because there are a lot of really great artists doing that style now. Is it something where you just kind of focus on what you do and how you draw and let it speak for itself? Is it
basically,
something where you're
yeah. What I do is just I draw what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
If it fits into a mold, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Yeah. I just do what I feel, feels right.
Yeah.
And then tattoo it.
Are you looking at other tattooers very often, saying, "Oh, I love what they're doing with this"?
Absolutely. There's a huge amount of relatively young artists who are popping up who are making me go, holy shit, what did you do there?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. Anyone in particular that you really draw a lot of inspiration from?
Well, if we want to talk about recent memory, let's talk about this show, like Matthew Purdy, Oscar, I forget his Ulyss.
Ulyss, yeah.
Ulyss, he's amazing, amazing tattooer, and
so you're
all of those styles I just love.
So you're pulling stuff not just from other like cartoon or new school style artists, but you're trying to pull from like more neo-traditional tattooers, and
incorporate
realism.
all of it into one kind of piece. As a matter of fact, I didn't even really start doing color tattoos until about my 5th year in. Before that, up until then, I was just a black and gray artist because I did a lot of charcoal in college, and that's kind of like what I stuck to until I started to becoming adventurous, and someone introduced me to markers and color pencils.
Yeah. Yesterday when I came by, you were working on an inner arm and kind of wrapping it around something you had done on an outer arm, or vice versa. I forget, something like that.
You had it right.
Do you do a lot of large scale, or do you find yourself doing one-shot tattoos and then trying to like match and blend and
both?
Yeah,
both. Someone will come in with a cohesive idea of turning something into a sleeve, which we will do a big piece with and leave open-ended on the edges so it can be added to something that's already been predetermined. And then there are the people who come in and be like, I just want one, cool solid piece. Sweet, here it is, right on you. And then they'll come back later like, let's just keep going.
Yeah. And
I'm like, sweet. You want to stay in this realm, or do you just want to do, what do you want to do? And depending on their answer, we build it from there.
Yeah. Do you have a preference? Do you like to see tattoos start to finish in a single sitting?
Yes.
Do you like
or if I don't finish it, I want to have it sectionally finished. So in other words, instead of just having an outline and some black shading done, I'll have the outline and then one section of it completed, and wherever I stop, that'll stay like that. It'll be completely unfinished and then completed.
Gotcha.
That way, by the time I get back into it, I just have to finish off the rest of it, and that's it.
Right. So you don't necessarily, like if you were starting a big piece, say a half sleeve, you don't necessarily just do the line work and gray work and leave it and then come back and color later.
Not unless asked. Otherwise, I try to knock it out in one go.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. Let's grab one of these viewer questions. Is that cool?
Yes, absolutely.
Here, I've been picking them. You pick one.
Woohoo! Roll it around. Roll it around. Let's go with.
We never know. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, right? The raffle number is. No, I'm just going.
All right, here we go. This is from Pedro Rodriguez.
Yes.
Instagram is @produce_DEPT, produce department. He probably works in the produce department.
Logic will denote that that's strongly possible.
How do you map out or trace large sleeves or any large tattoo, I'm assuming? I've tried tracing paper and cutting to fit, but no luck. So how do you map? We both draw digitally, so with this, we might be a little different in our answer than what this guy's doing.
Well, I could give an answer for both.
Okay.
Digitally, of course, take a photograph of it, throw it up on any of our programs, throw a layer, reduce the opacity, and then just start sketching according to the contour. Also taking different pictures of the arm, laying them side by side, so you have outer, inner, and back all in one, and then just sketch to fit. Or if old school way, it's just take some tracing paper and aside from just the shape of their arm, don't even worry about anything in detail. Just get the general area out, lay it down, and then sketch away, and then you'd have a pretty accurate representation of how it's going to rest on the arm. Yeah,
I agree. When I was drawing on paper, we just bought rolls of tracing paper,
right?
And I would map out the arm, and what I would do is I would find like little anchor points or little landmarks. So I would like grab this bone right here, make a circle of that. I would grab this and make a little oval and write ditch.
I
would write elbow, and then outer arm, and I just try to maybe divide it here, roughly, like you're saying, and then from there you can just think about what are the main elements of this tattoo, where do I want the most important pieces to sit, and then the rest of the stuff falls.
What do I want the focal point to be? What composition are we thinking, and all this? That's where you'll fall back into whatever art background you have or you've developed on your own or you got an education for. It really doesn't matter. Art's completely subjective, so however you get to where you get to, that was your process. Good job.
Yeah. Do you find in larger pieces, and I know I do, that you just focus on where those main elements go, but you just leave, like for me, I know I leave a lot of times the tricep or the back of the arm or some of this kind of weird in-between space. I know that's probably not lining up just the way that I want it, and I just leave enough organic stuff going on that I know I can all right, I'm going to whip this wave into this little flower, and you just kind of...
Or throw something really unfocused in the background, that's part of the landscape, either the mid-ground or background sort of thing.
I think that's the key, is just knowing that you have to be flexible on these pieces. Things probably aren't going to lay exactly the way you want it, and you have to be able to adapt right there on the spot.
Absolutely, and that's where whatever art training you have kicks in, and usually you could take care of it easily.
Yeah, I agree. So you moved to drawing digitally how long ago?
2 years ago.
Okay.
Up until that, as a matter of fact, ironically, I dropped out of college because I was defeated by math, and I couldn't finish my degree.
Yeah.
For some reason, I needed to know math to learn graphic design technology. It was weird. And back then, digital programs and stuff was in its infancy, you know, at least the way to what we know today. And I got into tattooing instead, and once I started doing well with piercing and tattooing, I kind of dropped out and just let it at the wayside and did this. 2 years ago, I got to know a client and became buddies with, and he was used to work for Cartoon Network. He was one of their animators. Oh. And wasn't doing anything at the time except some freelance work, and I was just like, and I've seen his digital work. It was amazing. And I was like, you ever thought about tattooing? He's like, no, not really. I go, tell you what, how about we trade? You teach me everything digital, I teach you tattooing, and, you know, we'll call it even Steven. You know, it'll be like a nice transaction. Yeah. And we did. And he taught me everything he knew about what he could, and I taught him. He ended up becoming fairly good at tattooing, but left it because it wasn't providing what he needed, and that's fine. Yeah. He could do, you know, he did what he did, and, you know, he kept up with it in the bargain, and that's fine. I came off with the digital stuff. Yeah. And love it. That's right.
Completely adapt to tattooing. Have you found, what has it changed, any specific things that it's changed for your approach to your preparation for your drawings?
Absolutely.
Because you're able to draw directly on the body. Do you pull in the photographs and draw directly on the body and things like that?
I can do that, or I can just sketch, draw, and then just play with the size according to measurements I've taken, because most programs have the ruler on the side, and if you got it measured out, if you don't get it right in the first print, your second one's usually correct.
Yeah. And we get a lot of questions about what we're using to draw, what programs. You're using a Cintiq, the 13-inch, not Cintiq Hybrid, but the Cintiq
Companion 1.
Which runs Windows, right?
Yes. Yes.
And have you had pretty good luck with it?
Oh, absolutely. Like the internet connection is a little iffy at times when it comes to certain places. It's a little touchy with that, but aside from that, you know, slight hiccup every now and then, it's great. The reason I like it is because I can run full programs. So like instead of apps like whatever, iPad Pro or what have you, or even a Surface Pro. Is a
Surface Pro I think runs full
Windows. Programs, right? Yeah.
I think so.
I'm able to have all like Photoshop full, Illustrator full. Mainly what I use than anything else, ironically enough, is SketchBook Pro. Yeah. I pretty much use it for everything. The only thing I really use Photoshop for is like final touches, some filter changes, like some layer settings. But other than that, I'm like, I do nothing but the SketchBook Pro, and it's like $26 a year. It's like the best investment ever. I love SketchBook Pro too. I've been using one. I've got the Cintiq Hybrid, so it's the companion hybrid, meaning it's basically the same machine as yours. It just doesn't run Windows. It just runs an Android app system. Got it.
And I use a little app called ArtFlow. It's a free app, and it's probably not the highest quality. Definitely when I'm making line drawings and I pull them to I have to pull them to Photoshop and resize them and stuff like that, I do get a little pixelation. But then my approach, I don't depend quite as much on perfectly clean stencils. I take more of a painterly soft. I build my lines up as I go. I build my shapes as I go. So I don't need super crisp lines, anyways. If you're someone that if you're doing traditional or neo-trad or something like that, and you need perfectly crisp lines, my program.
Yeah, even new school stuff, because you'll be able to, you can use line correcting tapered lines.
Yeah.
You know that if whatever you're using has a good high pressure sensitivity, you can start off with a thin line and then end it up fat as you continue with the stencil. And next thing you know, you have like this perfectly rendered new school design ready to go. You know, with half the work that it used to take us.
Right. Ugh. So are you building most of it, like your finished line drawings for stencils? Are you building those in SketchBook Pro?
Yes,
Or are you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I start the rough on SketchBook Pro, throw a layer on top of it. They have a pen brush that you can use. There's a line correct, and then there's one that's like super clean and crisp. And you combine the two, you can pretty much knock out a good clean stencil in minutes. Yeah, and then it just, so any little shake or anything off in your stroke, it'll correct it. Is anti-aliasing? Is that called that? I believe so. Something like that. I believe so. And so you're able? Do you basically print stencils straight from there? Yes, using a Pentax Pocket Jet 3. Okay. And what it is, let's picture this table has like a copier, a 3M Thermofax, and you've got paper and a light table. All of that can be fit into two objects now. I've got my Wacom Cintiq, I've got my little Pocket Jet Pro. I could do all rendering on that, and then just basically print a stencil straight from the computer on the stencil paper, so you're skipping processes.
Through Bluetooth, or does it
No,
have a
that's one of the reasons why I like the Cintiq, because it has USB ports,
gotcha.
unlike the iPad Pro.
Yeah, yeah.
Does the Surface Pro have?
I don't think it has USB ports. So that's
Right.
another difference in the two.
I mean, there is a Pocket Jet 6 now that has Bluetooth, but from what I hear, though it is really convenient and it's wireless, it's sometimes wonky.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
a piece of it won't, come through. But that's just from what I hear. I hear a lot more positive reviews than that as well.
Do you have to mirror the image whenever you print?
Yes. You too?
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
I don't understand why that is.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't either. For the first probably 3 months that I had it, I had to use 2 sheets of transfer paper every time because I always printed it
forget it
every time.
Same here.
I would even be telling myself, don't forget to flip this, and then I would print it and be like, ah.
Yeah, same thing here. And sometimes the indicator you don't even realize until you see something that happened to have some words on it, and you're just like, what?
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Exactly. You don't notice it at all with the image.
Yeah, you don't notice that at all because it comes out backwards.
Right.
Then you put it on the skin, you're like,
huh. I can't
give me 1 minute.
I can't read that word.
Yeah, yes.
Well, all right. So, are you traveling a lot? Or
yes.
So, where do you go from here?
From here in 2 weeks, I'm going to do a guest spot at my friend's shop in in the Pittsburgh area. And then 2 weeks after that, I'm going to be doing Villain Arts Atlanta.
Okay.
Which will be the first one.
Yeah, Matt's doing that as well. He talked about it.
Buddy of mine started a company doing stencil gel. It's called Snail Trail, and it's like the best stuff I've ever used. Huh. So I'm going to be splitting a booth with him. We've tattooed in shops together like 15, 16 years ago, and now he's doing this. So he asked me to come on and see if I wanted to like share a booth with him while he does that, and I said, hell yeah, why not? I'd love to. After that, I think I'm going to Tennessee for a guest spot.
Oh, what part?
Knoxville.
Knoxville. That's beautiful there. We're from Memphis, far other end of the state, but Knoxville's much prettier than Memphis.
Yeah, I liked it. Very mountainous. Very hilly.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. Knoxville, Chattanooga. Chattanooga's like a little treasure tucked away in Tennessee.
I've never been, but I'm actually going to work a show, the 3rd annual Chattanooga.
Oh, really?
I'm going to be there in March.
Cool.
Yeah.
Carve out a couple of days before or after just to make sure you see the place. It's a beautiful town.
Absolutely.
Beautiful town. So does your wife travel with you when you're going?
At times. Yeah. Anyone who's been in a relationship for any amount of time, who's had wives, girlfriends, whatever, they take to shows, know that after about the 3rd show or so, they're like, this is pretty much all the same thing, and we're basically stuck here after time. Yeah. After the first day or so, they'll see everything at a show, and then they'll get stir crazy. So she comes with me when the locale is
someplace she wants
different
to see.
and interesting.
Yeah.
But other than that, I basically travel. And she stays at home.
Yeah. That's
taking care of our 3 fur babies.
Oh, gotcha. I was going to ask if you had kids.
Nope.
Just fur kids.
Nope, just fur kids.
Gotcha.
Nothing against kids. Just, I'm still a big kid myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone wanted to book with you back home or at any of these shows, what's the best way to track you down?
Oh, there's multiple ways. They could either call my cell phone, or text me, call the shop, email me, hit me up through any of the social medias that we're on. Like, we're living in the in the information age of the golden age of communication. Like, there's no way you can't get a hold of anyone in one capacity or another.
Right.
So the only question is how. Which am I going to choose to get a hold of them? So if you can't get me in one, you have like 9 others to try to reach me at.
I always love asking that question because some people are like, however, man, you can have my cell number, or you can call me here, you can do this, and then other people are like, you have to go through the front door, you have to go. They have a very specific funnel of the way, and like, there's no way I'm sharing my phone number with anyone.
I know, and I understand that. I get that there's that there are times that you just want to keep your business at business and your home life at home life. Yeah. But I love what we do. Like, this is like the best shit in the world. So if I get someone throwing me an email at midnight, well, I'm still up drawing or playing video games anyway, and I like what you got. I like what you're asking me about or whatever. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll start talking to you then. Yeah. I mean, whether it's my phone, my email, or my just don't come to my front door. I think like I'm pretty like low maintenance when it comes to that. It's like, as long as you don't come straight to my front door, contact me any other way you want.
Instagram is just at Eddy Arg.
EDDY_ARG.
Yeah,
ARG.
EDDY. I looked it up whenever before everyone. I'm kind of go through just to refresh myself on their work, and I spelled your name with IE, and I couldn't find you.
That's all right. They've been doing that for decades.
Yeah. Well, man, thanks so much for taking the time.
No, thank you. I'm honored, brother.
Yeah,
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
We will put Eddy's information in the show notes. Check out his work, and if you want to, I don't know when this episode will come out, but Villain Arts. Where was the other place you were doing up north?
I'm doing Chattanooga in March.
Yeah.
I'm doing Villain Arts Atlanta next month, and
then a guest spot up north somewhere.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of guest spots, and I'll be doing MegaCon Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in at the end of May. Oh, and doing Philly.
Okay, awesome.
Not Philly, but Baltimore. Yeah.
Baltimore. Yeah, Philly just happened, right?
Yeah. Baltimore in May.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and for supporting what we do. Thank you, Eddy.
Bye. Thanks for listening to me ramble.
All right. See you next time.
Take care.
All right.